It's been a good week for cryptocurrencies. We've seen some excitement here. We can see the price of Ethereum rising from around 1800 to trade briefly through 2400. So are we about to see a new uptrend starting for Ethereum, or actually has nothing really changed and we're still stuck in this range? I thought it'd be interesting to do a catch up with Ethereum, given I think some of the gains we've seen over the last week or so. So if we go back and take a look at this year so far, the price came into this year trading around $700. That's where it ended 2020. Then famously traded up to almost 4,400 in May, and we came crashing back down to where we are now. It was a big decline, but it really only knocked the price back to where it was at the end of March. So we saw, clearly some of that euphoria, some of that momentum taken out of the market. Since then, it's been stuck in this sideways range with $1,600 pretty much as the floor, and really struggling to get through sort of 2,400, 3,000. So in this video, I'll talk a bit about some of the recent news around Ethereum. Then we'll come back onto the chart and have a look at things in a bit more detail. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought this time round we'd take a look at the cryptocurrency Ethereum, because we have seen quite a bit of volatility in recent days. So I thought let's talk about that and take a look on the platform, take a look at the charts and see if there are any opportunities here. As usual, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel. And it means we can continue to push out lots of content on various different markets throughout the week. Plus, of course, every Friday now at 2:30 UK time, I run a live stream where we take a look at a whole host of different markets. If you're subscribed to the channel with the notifications pushed, you get a notification off YouTube just as we're about to go live. Right, let's get into it and take a look at Ethereum in a bit more detail. So just a quick recap, Ethereum was launched in 2015. It's an open source, blockchain-based platform used for its own cryptocurrency. We did see all-time highs for Ethereum on the 12th of May this year. That meant that it was up an incredible 500% for the year to date in under 5 months. But of course, things changed. We saw the price of cryptocurrencies crash from those May highs. At its worst point, Ethereum was off around about 60% by the 23rd of May, but only back to where it was in March of this year. There were various reasons behind this sell-off. It was perceived that perhaps there was a step back from the potential for cryptocurrencies to be accepted more widely. Famously, we had Elon Musk tweeting that Tesla would stop accepting Bitcoin just shortly after the company had decided it would accept Bitcoin for its cars. We saw various clampdowns by regulators in China on mining and also on financial companies offering crypto as part of their services to clients. There was a ban on that. So all of this really took quite a bit of momentum out of the moves we'd seen in cryptocurrencies this year. We've seen some excitement this week on a rumor that Amazon was about to start offering support for crypto. Seen a strong bounce back in Bitcoin and Ethereum this week to name but two. Amazon have since said that's not the case. They've denied that rumor, but we are still seeing the prices hold on to some of those earlier gains. There is a hard fork coming in August for Ethereum aimed at optimizing and stabilizing the cryptocurrency. And what this means is that a variable amount of ETH will be taken out of circulation every time a transaction is processed. How that's going to affect the price, we'll wait and see. But is this current weakness a buying opportunity? Let's take a look at the levels to watch, then we'll jump onto the charts and take a look at things in more detail. So I think the most immediate hurdle is the high seen on this surge this week, around $2,426. I think probably the bigger levels to watch at around about 3,000, the big barrier, but we'll take a look at that in a second. For me, the most immediate support just from a couple of days ago ahead of 2,100. But as usual, to put some color on these numbers, let's jump on the charts and take a look at things in a bit more detail. If we were going to pick up on a trend for Ethereum, then for me, it looks something like this, off the lows, since it really started moving this year. So off the January lows, around $900. This trend did a great job. Then, of course, the price accelerated away in April up to those all-time highs just shy of 4,400, and it's come crashing back down. And I was wondering when we were looking at it back here, you know, it looks like that trend is still holding. You know, we've pushed through the trend, but the prices continue to hold. So I wondered if we'd see the trend continue, but at a bit of a slower rate. It hasn't turned out that way. It's been perhaps something of an uneventful market the last couple of months. We've slipped below that trend line now, but I think interestingly, it has continued to hold above that low hit on the 23rd of May, around the $1,700 mark. So for me, that's pretty important support for Ethereum. We'll take a look at the shorter term in a second, but let's take a quick look at the RSI down here. So the strength that we've seen over the last week or so has dragged the price up, and of course, we've seen the RSI push up as well, not quite into overbought, but a fairly extreme reading. And I do wonder if we'll see these old highs. We can see these old highs from the 7th of July, up around 2,400. Are they going to end up being something of a ceiling for the price of Ethereum again? So I have to say, even though it's been an exciting week, I think broadly speaking, well, not broadly speaking, we are still stuck in this overall sideways trend for Ethereum. I think there could well be short-term opportunities, but I think, you know, we need to see a break above 3,000 if we're going to be really conservative, you know, to think that finally this weakness has been shaken off. But perhaps let's take a look at the intraday chart over the last couple of months. So here's the 4-hour candlestick chart going back to since it set that low back in May. And you can see, you know, from a trading point of view, there have been obvious places to put a trade if we're buying weakness and selling into strength. You know, the price just on the 20th of July dipped back again to this $1,700 level. So that continues to be pretty good support. You know, on the upside, here's the 3,000, 2,900, 3,000 level. That's something of a barrier. And at the moment, it's stuck pretty much in the middle. So I think even though it's been an exciting week, it doesn't really change that much for me. I suppose an aggressive trade up here, if you wanted to do it, would be to sell short. You know, looking to see if this old 2,400 resistance holds again, and perhaps we get a trip back down sub 2,000. So an interesting week, but really not that much different to what we've seen before. If we go back to the end of June in Ethereum, another run up there that ultimately ran out of steam. We'll wait and see if this hard fork causes any changes, but I think for now, still pretty much stuck in the range. If we see it sell off and dip below 2,000 back to this old support, it looks like a trading buy. I think where it gets really interesting is if it does manage at some point to break out through 3,000. But overall, that sideways trend still pretty much in place for Ethereum. I think if we lost 1,700, the risk is perhaps for a pushback at least to the late Feb lows around 1,300. But plenty of volatility day to day, but no real change to this sideways trading. That's it for the update in Ethereum. We'll see if it can actually break out this time around, or is it going to just drop back into the range? We'll come back to it and take a look. But for now, from me, David Jones and Capital.com, we'll leave things there. Good luck with your trading. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.